The St. Louis Cardinals are golden. 5 Gold Glove winners for the Redbirds, and it is a very good accomplishment indeed. Mike Schill, the former manager, also nominated for the Manager of the Year. Dylan Carlson nominated for Rookie of the Year. We're breaking it all down, as well as saying one final goodbye to Matt Carpenter and Carlos Martinez on today's episode of Locked On Cardinals.
You are Locked On Cardinals, your daily St. Louis Cardinals podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello and welcome to Locked On Cardinals for Tuesday, November the 9th of 2021. My name is Lucas Smith, St. Louis Cardinals host of the Locked On Cardinals podcast. Thanks for tuning in today and every day that you tune in. Always much appreciated. Apologies for lack of shows over the last handful of days, particularly not having one out on Monday, but we are back and rolling, ready to go. We're going to have some extra episodes out throughout the week this week as well. So apologies, but thanks for bearing with me. And we're going to get things rocking and rolling on today's episode. If you're listening on your podcasting platform, thank you. For watching on YouTube, thank you as well. We're going to talk about the Cardinals and their gold gloves, as the Cardinals become the first team in Major League Baseball history to win 5 gold gloves in the same season. Gold all around the infield for the St. Louis Cardinals. Paul Goldschmidt, Tommy Edman, Nolan Arenado winning it, as well as 2 outfielders, Harrison Bader and Tyler O'Neill. The only Cardinal who was nominated that did not win, Yadier Molina. We're also going to do a quick breakdown of the other awards, doing a prediction show a little bit later on this week, talking about Matt Carpenter and Carlos Martinez to finish up the show. And then throughout this week, we'll also be talking about other free agents I think that the Cardinals could go after, that they could spend some money on, how they can improve their team. So we're going to have some fun this week on Locked On Cardinals. Let's just go ahead and roll and get right into the action and talk about the Cardinals Gold Glove Award winners. That's right. They have 5 Gold Glove Award winners. First team in Major League Baseball history to have 5 from a single club. Again, if you missed it, it is Nolan Arenado, Paul Goldschmidt, O'Neill, Harrison Bader, and Tommy Edman. Bader and Edman, this is the first time in their careers they're winning it. Nolan Arenado, Paul Goldschmidt, and O'Neill have all won it before. This defense was the best in the major leagues. And these gold gloves, I guess I should say, prove that point. It proves that this defense was the best. I think that even Sosa at shortstop, who had his shortcomings, was very solid at times and could make these spectacular plays. He started that bizarre double play. There started a couple of double plays in an extra inning game that I failed to remember at this time against the Chicago Cubs. He had the ability to make the smart play. And we all know Dylan Carlson is a fine defender out there in right field. And we also know that Yadier Molina is Yadier Molina. He threw out a lot of base runners this season, as well as his arm continues to be an absolute rocket. And a cannon back there, whatever you want to call it, rocket, cannon, missile, hose, however you want to talk about it. Mr. Molina has it behind that dish, even if he is getting a little short. But Yadier Molina, like I said, was a finalist, but he was just short as Jacob Stallings was that winner. But let's just acknowledge the fact that this defense, like I mentioned, was the best in baseball. As a pitcher, that provides you so much confidence, because you don't have to go for a strikeout. You don't have to worry, if it's a ground ball, is it going to be a base hit? You feel very confident that most ground balls are going to be outs and most fly balls are going to be outs as well. And you feel confident late in the game if you've got a tag-up situation, runners moving. You feel confident that your outfield is going to be able to get that job done because of the type of defense you have behind you. Wade LeBlanc talked about it when he first came here, that, hey, I'm going to be my best when I throw my pitches and the defense behind me works, when the catcher behind that plate works. And it instantly improves a team when your defense is good. It instantly improves a pitcher when your defense is good. When you have an average defense, your pitcher becomes that much better, and especially when you have an above-average defense like this Cardinal team had. there were questions going into this season, I think, especially at second base, as to what this defense was going to be. Because Tommy Edman was not a bad defender in his career, but was he going to be what Colton Wong was? Colton Wong, back-to-back Gold Glove winner, just tremendous. I think he should have been a 3-time winner. And Colton Wong went over to the Milwaukee Brewers. I think I misspoke. I think Colton Wong was just a 1-time winner. I'll have to double check that as we go throughout this. But nevertheless, Colton Wong was beat out by Tommy Edman for the Gold Glove, first time for Edman and Harrison Bader. But nevertheless, I think that Tommy Edman was able to answer the bell defensively, obviously. The Gold Glove speaks for itself. When a team is strong up the middle, as the Cardinals are, that is huge. Obviously, every defensive position matters, but what this shows me, in the fact that the Cardinals had all these nominations, is that this team really came and gelled together, because you had 2020 where the team came up just a little bit short. You didn't have any Gold Glove winners outside of Tyler O'Neill, Colton Wong. But this was a much more complete defensive team, and we've seen in the World Series that the defense matters. Eddie Rosario throwing out a runner from left field was huge as well. Freddie Freeman can pick at first base. He was a Gold Glove finalist. Defense matters. Defense does win championships. I know the Cardinals obviously did not get the job done in 2021, but these 5 Gold Gloves these 5 Gold Gloves are worth, not sure which one's grammatically correct, are worth recognition and worth a lot of praise. Because this team, I think a little bit, from 16, 17, 18, was really taking a hit defensively. That they had kind of lost the Cardinal way, or lost their way in general defensively, and now we're starting to see the results of the Cardinal way come back a little bit with the extremely talented defense. As I mentioned, as a pitcher, from a pitcher standpoint, this is incredible. You have to love this as a pitcher, no matter what type of game you like. Even if you are offense, you have to recognize that defense is important, and defense is proving to be extremely important for the St. Louis Cardinals. And as I mentioned, it's just one of those things that makes a team that much better. And I think I saw it on Twitter somewhere, and I agreed with that. I forget who actually tweeted it, so I apologize if it was you. But they said that if I'm a free agent pitcher, I'm looking at the team that has 5 Gold Glove winners. That's pretty appealing to me. So I think that was pretty. That's a spot on point. Again, I forget who said that, but I agree with that point as well. But just to go kind of down the list, you've got, as I mentioned, Tommy Edman and Harrison Bader, first-time winners. Nolan Arenado, his 9th Gold Glove. And we've talked about this on the show multiple times. He was disappointed in his offense. He had 30 home runs, 30-plus home runs, drove in 100-plus RBI. He was disappointed in his offense. Understand where he's coming from. One thing he cannot be, or should not be, disappointed in, and one thing that the Cardinals can be extremely happy with, was his defense. His defense was remarkable, making plays, as he did in Colorado, that nobody else makes. It was as simple as that. He makes plays that nobody else makes. Period. And that's why he is now a 9-time, that's right, a 9-time Gold Glove. Not finalist, but winner. And at first base, Paul Goldschmidt won his 4th Gold Glove. This was talked about pretty much the same way as Nolan Arenado was when he first came over. That yes, he was going to improve the team offensively, but defensively improve them as much, if not more, than he did from the offensive standpoint. Especially, all due respect, as I'll talk about him in a little bit later, all due respect to Matt Carpenter. Matt Carpenter was not a very good defensive first baseman. Anything you throw over to Paul Goldschmidt, standing at first base, you feel confident in him catching, him making a play, at least being able to save the ball. And he's also very smart when he gets the ball on the ground. Matt Carpenter, in his prime, could carry a team offensively. And so can Paul Goldschmidt. But Paul Goldschmidt brings that offensive side to things that you just don't always see. Period. Because Paul Goldschmidt, as I mentioned, 4th time winning the Gold Glove, one of 5 Cardinals to win it in 2021. And it's remarkable. And I wanted to spend a little bit of time talking about the Gold Gloves because it is important. It is extremely important because you need defense to win games. And I think we're starting to see the groundwork laid for a championship here in the near future. Ali Marmol said that championship in 2022 is the goal. Anything less than that is a disappointment. Starts from the defensive end, so it's going to start with the Gold Gloves. It's award season in the MLB offseason right now. We're going to have the BBWAA Awards announced here in the next week or so. Next week, Monday through Thursday, we've got finalists that have been announced already, so we're going to go through that and break it down. Not predicting the finals, the winners just yet. We'll do that a little bit later on this week, but we will get to the finalists here in just a little bit. But first, I want to take a break and tell you guys about BetOnline, because you will be sure to win some money on these futures, betting on these future awards. They have a new website interface because of the start of basketball season with more props, odds, and lines than ever before. BetOnline remains your number one spot for everything basketball and football this season. Head over to that new and updated desktop or mobile website and sign up today and receive a 50% welcome bonus when you use our promo code LOCKEDON, LCKEDON, Locked On, get you a 50% welcome bonus. Whether you want to bet on basketball, football, baseball awards, NHL, boxing, or UFC, or your favorite Vegas casino games, don't wait to take advantage of all the amazing offers available for the 2021 season. BetOnline is the fastest and easiest way. It's so easy and it's so fast to bet on all your favorite sports. BetOnline is where the game starts. The Cardinals technically have two team members up for the BBWAA Awards, one current and one former that played for them. They have two people that played or coached for them in 2021. Dylan Carlson is a Rookie of the Year finalist, and Mike Schultz is the Manager of the Year finalist. We'll get to that in just a moment. Let's start with the MVP finalists in both leagues. Vladimir Guerrero Jr., Shohei Ohtani, and Marcus Semien are the AL finalists, and over in the National League, Bryce Harper, Juan Soto, and Fernando Tatis. One thing I found interesting, and I tweeted this out at LJ Fastball on Twitter, you have 6 finalists. 6. Fernando Tatis, Padres, did not make the playoffs. Juan Soto's, Nationals, did not make the playoffs. Bryce Harper, Phillies, did not make the playoffs. Marcus Semien, Blue Jays, did not make the playoffs. Shohei Ohtani, Angels, did not make the playoffs. Vladimir Guerrero Jr., Blue Jays, did not make the playoffs. I find that fascinating. And not to say that it's wrong, that these players are undeserving. I do think Shohei Ohtani is a front runner for the most valuable player, no matter what. All 3 of the National League as well, all 6 of them across both leagues are worthy finalists for this award. I just find it fascinating because usually voters tend to put a lot more stock in the playoff appearances, because if you're going to be the most valuable player to a team, that means they're going to be really bad without you. And some of these teams are really bad with them. So the Nationals weren't too exciting. Angels weren't too exciting outside of Shohei Ohtani. Phillies made a little bit of a run, but were unable to catch the Braves. The Blue Jays were closest to the playoffs. But still, the point stands is that I just found it interesting. And not to say that, again, that this is wrong, these finalists are wrong, but I think that's an interesting point, that I don't think playoffs are considered in as much a high regard to the voters in baseball versus other sports when you look at the most valuable player. Let's look at the Cy Young, the top 3 Cy Young Award in each league. Garrett Cole for the White Sox, Lance Lynn, former Cardinal, or Garrett Cole with the Yankees, Lance Lynn, former Cardinal with now the White Sox, and Robbie Ray. Robbie Ray was one that, again, deserving, but not necessarily a name that you look at, they go, oh yeah, Robbie Ray is a pretty frequent Cy Young voter. Here's what Robbie Ray led the major leagues in, according to the article on MLB.com. He led the major leagues, had the AL ERA title with a 2.84. He led the majors with 248 strikeouts. He also led the AL with 193 and 1/3 of innings pitched, a 1.045 WHIP, and making a league-high 32 starts. He had 10 double-digit strikeout games, which were the most of any pitcher. That is a wildly impressive season, and it's going to be an interesting race to see who gets the Cy Young in the AL, because Garrett Cole and Lance Lynn obviously had incredible seasons as well. Lance Lynn was pretty remarkable as well, having 176 strikeouts, 11-6, 2.69 ERA. Had the best ERA among AL pitchers who threw at least 150 innings when he was with the Rangers a while ago. So Lynn having a strong 2021 season. Over the National League, you got an NL Central NL Central arm and Corbin Burns with the Brewers. He won the MLB ERA crown with 2.43. Robbie Ray won in the American League. Max Scherzer of the Nationals and Dodgers, and Zach Wheeler of the Philadelphia Phillies. Wheeler had that incredible performance early this season against the St. Louis Cardinals. So the Cardinals might have helped him in his Cy Young quest. 14-10 for Wheeler, 2.78 ERA, 32 starts. He did lead baseball with innings pitched with 213 and 1/3 innings. Led them in complete games with 3, and led them in shutouts with 2. And in batters faced with 849. He led the NL in strikeouts with 247. I think that all three of these guys, I think that the Cy Young in the National League is an absolute toss-up. I think that they are very impressive pitching seasons all around. Now we get to the Rookie of the Year. Randy Arozarena, which is an interesting Rookie of the Year candidate because of his postseason heroics. So you're going to have a postseason performance of all time before he possibly wins Rookie of the Year because of how they track rookies, which I think is another interesting wrinkle in all of this. But he kept his rookie eligibility going into this season. He had a 2020 campaign, 20 home runs, 20 steals. Looking to be the first Rays, or the fourth Ray ever to win Rookie of the Year. Longoria, Hellickson, and Will Myers. Wander Franco, top prospect. He was the number 1 overall prospect coming into the season for the Tampa Bay Rays. So the Rays have 2 nominees. So they have a very good shot at winning the Rookie of the Year. He's a switch hitter, looking to just become the 8th to win a Rookie of the Year season, following a season that ended prior to his 21st birthday. Ronald Acuna Jr. was the most recent to do that. And the other finalist is Luis Garcia, right-handed pitcher. We saw him in the World Series have a dominant outing. 155 and a third innings this season, 30 games, 28 of them being starts, 11-8, 3.48 ERA, struck out 176. That, again, is a very big toss-up, but the Rays, again, look to be pretty good into winning that. But now over to the National League. I think the National League, Jonathan India is the favorite. 269, 376, 459 slash, 113 OPS plus. He had 34 doubles, 21 home runs, 12 steals, 150 games. He was 5th in NL qualifiers and on base percentage, just ahead of Joey Votto. Looking to become the first Reds rookie pitcher since Scott Williamson in 1999. Jonathan India was a menace for the Cincinnati Reds this season, and I love his style of play. Very similar, I think, to Tommy Edman. Goes out, plays the game well. A little bit of a more on-base machine than Jonathan India is more than Tommy Edman, but just a supreme doubles guy. Plays the game the right way. Trevor Rogers, left-hander for the Marlins, was the other finalist in the National League. 2.64 ERA was Rogers' rookie mark. He was the 3rd lowest by a rookie with at least 130 innings pitched since 2000, trailing only Jose Fernandez and Walker Buehler. No more than 2 earned runs in 22 of his 25 starts. That's impressive. Dylan Carlson, 145 games for the Cardinals. This is an interesting stat as well. He joined Vladimir Guerrero Jr., Juan Soto, and Fernando Tatis Jr. as the only player 22 or younger to qualify for the batting title. Dylan Carlson obviously did not win it, but he qualified. Posted a 117 OPS plus, 31 doubles, 4 triples, 18 home runs. Cardinals only have one other Rookie of the Year award winner, and it was Albert Pujols, the Machine, back in 2001. I think it's going to be a tough climb for Carlson to beat either one of these 2 other nominees, but still impressive that he was nominated none the least. Manager of the Year, Dusty Baker, Kevin Cash, and Scott Servais. I think it's important to note that this was counted before the season had ended, before the postseason has ended, I should say. So the run to the World Series does not help or hurt. I don't know how it would hurt, but it does not help Dusty Baker in that vote-getting process. But I like all 3 of those. Kevin Cash looking for his second. And another man looking for his second, Mike Shildt. The man who was fired for having philosophical differences with the front office is a Manager of the Year finalist, along with Gabe Kapler and Craig Counsell. Gabe Kapler, I think, is the runaway favorite for this award. All due respect to both Craig Counsell and Mike Shildt. Mike Schultz, 2019 Manager of the Year. He received votes for the Manager of the Year in each of the last 4 seasons, 18, 19, 20, and 21. That's right. Even when he was manager for half a season, he received Manager of the Year votes. That's going to be a little awkward if Schultz does find a way to somehow get a win. And he was fired. Not the first time this has happened, but ironic to say the least. Nonetheless, Dylan Carlson, rookie. The Cardinals could have, quote unquote, 2 winners of the BBWAA finalists and rookie of the year and manager of the year. But I think that one thing that makes it just so interesting is, I would say, one of them is no longer wearing a Cardinal uniform. We'll have more thoughts on the award finalists and hopeful winners in coming episodes, so stay tuned for that. Before we take our last break, we're going to get into just a couple of Cardinals news and notes. TJ McFarland, 1-year deal, $2.5 million, according to John Heyman, $500,000 in incentives. Club did not confirm the value of the deal as of yesterday, according to an article from Zachary Silver on MLB.com, Cardinals.com, excuse me. But I think that this is a great move. I talked about this last week, that I think that of the free agents that the Cardinals had leaving, they needed to re-sign Luis Garcia and TJ McFarland, and they've got one done. I think that they both were key members in the bullpen to close out the season, and I think it's a good move to get TJ McFarland on the roster for 2022. So that's another spot in the bullpen that will be occupied for the Cardinals. Other Cardinal news, Skip Schumacher, according to a report late last week by Derek Gould, is going to be the St. Louis Cardinals bench coach. He returns to the organization that he played so many years for, won a World Series championship with in 2011, after being a bench coach, that same role over in San Diego. The Cardinals get Skip Schumacher. I think it's going to be a great move if it's confirmed. Schumacher was a managerial candidate in my mind, so I'm a big positive of Mr. Schumacher coming in to coach for the Cardinals. So those are the couple news and notes I have. Last segment, I want to give a little bit more of a statistical goodbye, if you will, to Carlos Martinez and Matt Carpenter. Martinez likely to get a little bit more of a lucrative deal than in the offseason than Matt Carpenter, but nevertheless, both had very, very fine Cardinal careers. And before I go, I just want to give credit to the article that I was getting all those stats from going on down the awards. It was the finalist article by David Adler of MLB.com, so that's where I got all those stats from. So I don't want to make you guys think that was all my research. It was Adler's research. But nevertheless, we'll take a quick break. If you're on your podcasting platform, if you're on YouTube, we're going to just take a couple seconds to pause. But either way, final segment to wrap it up, saying a statistical and more kind of backing it up a little bit and saying why Carlos Martinez and Matt Carpenter were so great. So saying goodbye to them coming up here in just a moment. All right, welcome back. If you're on the podcasting platform, still hello. If you're listening or watching on YouTube, let's go ahead and get into Carlos Martinez and Matt Carpenter. Carlos Martinez was somebody that I think that never really lived up to the expectations that the Cardinals had for him, or that we had for him as Cardinal followers. But still somebody that put together a very fine Cardinal career. To date for Carlos Martinez, 62 and 52, 139 starts, 274 games overall. He's got an ERA of 3.66. That's respectable, and a WHIP of 1.2. I think in his Cardinal peak as a starter and 1 year as a bullpen, looking from 2015 to 2019 are these stats. He was a 2-time All-Star in this span, once in 2015, once in 2017. And he was a closer in 2019. So from 2015 to 2019, 54 wins for Carlos Martinez, 175 games, 110 starts, 747 innings, 126 was the ERA plus. Baseline, or the average for that, again, is 100. You want to be higher, factors and park adjustments. That's extremely impressive. 3.22 ERA, 607 winning percentage. The average season there was 11-7 with an ERA, or 11-7 with 3.22 ERA. So a very impressive stretch for Carlos Martinez. I wish him all the well. I really thought that he was going to turn it around in 2021. I thought that he impressed in winter ball. He was looking good in the spring training a little bit, showed some signs of improvement, but overall just never was able to bring it together. And Matt Carpenter, who released a video to the Players Tribune on Twitter yesterday, which was a touching video, just for the record. If you haven't watched it on Twitter yet, he posted it. Go find it. It was a very good video. Matt Carpenter is somebody that I think is forgotten about a lot, and it's hard to believe that he is. Because if you look at his numbers from 2013 to 2018, it's a 6-year stretch, age 27 to age 32 seasons. For the St. Louis Cardinals, he had a 131 OPS plus, 273 batting average, 378 on-base percentage, and a 472 slugging and 851 OPS, 127 home runs, 241 doubles. That includes the year in which he led the league in doubles, not once but twice, in 2013 and 2015. From 2013 to 2018, the stretch that I'm talking about, he never had less than 31 doubles. 55, 33, 44, 36, 31, 42. It's an incredibly impressive stretch. We all remember the salsa in late 2018 when he just went on the unbelievable, I want to say it was August that he had, but close to 900 games from 13 to 18. But overall, as a Cardinal, 1,329 games, 262 average, 368 on base, 449 slugging, an OPS plus of 122, which is still well above average. Career 301 doubles as a St. Louis Cardinal. The only time in which he played in a full season and did not have 20 doubles was this most recent one. He played in 7 games in 2011, and he played in the 50 shortened game season in 2020. But in 2012, he played 114 games, had 22 doubles, and in 2019, which was a horrendous year for him, he still managed to hit 20 doubles. So Carpenter, in my opinion, is a Cardinal Hall of Famer. Nowhere close to Cooperstown, don't get it misconstrued, but he is indeed a Cardinal Hall of Famer. He represented the Cardinals well on and off the field. He was somebody that you could rely on for that stretch to be productive, to give you a good at-bat. My favorite Cardinal memory of Matt Carpenter is the double in Game 1 of the 2014 NLDS against the Los Angeles Dodgers, against Clayton Kershaw. Forever one of my favorite Cardinal memories. I get those Dodger moments confused with Matt Carpenter because there were so many in 2013 and 2014, putting together just long, grueling at-bats against Kershaw and coming out on top. So I wish nothing but the best for Matt Carpenter and Carlos Martinez as they look to find another baseball home. So good luck to them moving forward. But on the next episode of Locked On Cardinals, we're going to go back. We're going to talk about the outfield, as I mentioned on Friday's show. We're going to start catching up on some content, have some extra episodes released this week. So we'll be talking Cardinal baseball about the outfield. We're going to talk about the bullpen, recap that. We're going to talk about free agency. We're going to talk about predicting the awards for next week. We're going to talk about it all. Send in some your requests. We've already got some and some content planned out. We're going to get back on track here and have a good week on Locked On Cardinals. Be sure to follow me on Twitter at LJ Fastball. Follow the show on Twitter, on Instagram at LO_Cardinals. And be sure to email the show anytime with any questions at lockedoncards@gmail.com. And until I talk to you guys tomorrow, be sure to stay safe, stay well, and have a fantastic rest of your day.